VJ, just kind of broad and give us an update on how camp has been going for you and what your thoughts of the defense have been so far.
Got you. Camp's been going great. The defense gonna look really well this year. It's gonna look extremely well. We've been going out there busting our butts, hitting the field to be do tackling every day. Some form of tackling and tackle drills. And we're just getting after the offense, which is good to see. And so the defense it's gonna surprise some people.
Uh, oh yeah, hey VJ, good morning.
Good
I guess
morning. Good morning.
good morning anyway. I want to ask you about the second year under the Jonathan Peck, Manny Diaz defense, which emphasizes creating havoc, creating sacks in TFLs. How is it going to be, or is it going to be easier to have that kind of attacking mentality in year two?
For sure. Now that's just the second year in his defense. He's really letting us open up and kind of take control um of the defense a little bit, just making our own calls and stuff like that, giving us a little bit more freedom, which is making us play faster, especially for me and Wes on the other end and the DN group.
Hey VJ, what have you personally, worked on this offseason as you're, coming into your senior year to try to make you an even better player this year?
Flexibility, mobility. I got into Pilates and yoga, which was super cool. And then just getting stronger and bigger in the weight room with Coach Philly. And then I'll do a little 2 a day workout. And my second workout will be with my pops back at home since I'm from here. So that's cool. And I got up to like 260, which is the heaviest I've been, but I feel great just working on my speed, explosiveness off the ball, and just it's all coming together. So I'm excited to show people what that's like come Thursday.
That's awesome. And a little bit more of a big picture question here as you're coming into your final year. You came to Duke when this program was really struggling, and now you have a chance for four straight winning seasons with Duke. Could you talk about kind of your bond with that class of 2022 group and what you want kind of your legacy to be on this Duke program as you're coming into your final year?
I'll say the bond is close, man. Of course, we have some guys that have left due to the portal, but it's the bond is still close. I'll say adversity. Really, it's hard to jump from get recruited by Coach Cutcliffe, then come in with Coach Elko, then finish it all with Coach Diaz. And to still stick together is, it's a blessing. It's amazing, really. And so the legacy, just like adversity. Really, when adversity comes your way, push through it, persevere through it, and it's gonna come out in a good end.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Hey Vincent, when you went to Duke, obviously you just talked about Coach Cutcliffe. It was you were being recruited by a lot of like bigger, more traditional power four football programs. It was kind of cool that you stayed home in Durham at Duke. Now looking back 4 years later, how's that decision panned out for you, one, and how is the perception of Duke, like in the area, North Carolina, but specifically maybe Durham, Chapel Hill, Raleigh? How has that changed since you've been here?
Oh, okay. So what's the first question?
Um, Looking back 4 years later on the decision to stay at home and play at Duke instead of going to other more established football programs,
Got
how
you.
has
Oh my.
how's it feel looking back now 4 years later?
No, it feels amazing. Time flies, which it hits me probably like twice every week where it's like, wow, like this, my last year. So time flies, but I'm glad I stayed, home. It's really been amazing. I've gotten love from the city and from Duke. It's really a great mesh. It's kind of like I'm the glue in the middle. It's kind of how I think of it. And so which has been really cool, really exciting. And to your second question, I feel like since there's so many guys like me, Trey, and Aaron coming from this city, the perception of how Durham looks on Duke and vice versa is great. It also shows the youth of Durham that you can go to a school like Duke and play Power Five football, well, Power Four football, or you know what I'm saying? Just be well and do great in life. It's just you don't have to stay in a same area or your mind stay secluded to just one thing. You can be able to go and do, whatever you want to do in life and be great at that. And so I feel like that's the perception that Durham gives Duke and vice versa.
And just a quick follow up on that, Bryce Davis is another guy that kind of stayed at home, even though he had other options. how much of an impact on him do you feel like you had in the recruiting process, like hometown hero kind of? I know he's not from Durham, but he's close.
Yeah. Yeah, he is from Greensboro. But I feel like I had a huge role. Multiple guys had a real huge role. Really, our whole room had a huge role in his recruiting process. And then we just meshed, especially he got to hang out with me and Wes during his recruiting process and stuff like that. And so I just feel like we all played a huge role into him coming here. And so he's here now. He's been here since January. He's been putting in hard work. A lot of good work. So, we'll see what he has to do this season also.
VJ, who's going to surprise us on defense this year? Somebody who has a low profile, who hasn't played much, but you think is poised to have a breakout season.
Um,
And then Connor, if you want to start things off.
How we doing, guys?
Hey, Cooper. Kind of the same thing I asked Andrew all to start with. How's your relationship and chemistry with Darian? I know you guys got to meet each other and got to know each other over the summer, but how has it morphed into fall camp the weekend?
It's been great. I mean, yeah, definitely the more time that we've spent together, the more chemistry and more times we play together, the more chemistry we build. But yeah, I'd say we hit it off pretty instantaneously. We're both from Southern California, so we kind of share a lot of the same interests. But yeah, I think we've definitely grown as a whole receiver room, and definitely me and him in terms of chemistry and playmaking. He's a special player, so it's exciting to play with him.
What Southern California roots do you guys share? Like, do you have the same favorite spots, or is it too big of an area to pin down anything?
Yeah, we're actually not too close in like proximity from where we grew up, but like the same music, the same interests and clothing, just kind of similar kids. Yeah.
Go ahead, Jim.
Hi, Cooper. Jim Sumner.
How you doing?
Good to meet you quasi in person. Thanks for your time a couple of
Yeah,
weeks. I want to ask you now that you've had a couple of weeks of actual real practice. You talked earlier about playing catch up since you weren't in the spring and learning the playbook and everything. And as Connor said, getting comfortable with the quarterbacks and everything. Just talk about how things are going for you right now, now that practice has begun. And if you will, segue that into a discussion of your position group.
For sure. So are you asking how am I getting comfortable with the offense and
Yeah, just
situ-
now that you weren't here in the spring, you were trying to play catch up over the summer, trying to learn the playbook, get comfortable with with Darian and Henry. Just how is that going? And then part two is discuss your position group.
Yeah, I would say kind of across the board, we're a little bit newly meshing offense, passing offense, even with Samir is really our group leader, kind of to pinpoint on the second part of your question. But um, he with him returning, but he's him and Queso, I guess. But Queso's a little younger, and Samir really stepping into like a bigger role this year. And then me and Andrella obviously coming in this year. It's a pretty freshly meshed offensive scheme. So I think the coaches have realized that, and coaches on and Coach Brewer have done a great job, specifically with me with just learning the offense. Also, our receiver GA Gator doesn't get enough credit. But yeah, making sure that we know the offense and know what's going on and all the checks and reading defenses. And also for me personally, stepping up a level from FCS to FBS, just adapting to the physicality of the game and everything. But I think they definitely account for the how new our offense is, I guess, schematically. So they're making it easy on us
Yeah, thanks.
for sure.
Royal, we'll go to you.
Hey, Cooper, nice to meet you. I wanted to jump right to and kind of piggyback off of, coming from the FCS to the ACC. What has been the biggest adjustment for you so far since you arrived in Durham?
I would say the biggest adjustment is just the mindset of everyone. But really, it's only been positive things um, that have come of this jump from like the FCS to the FBS. Obviously, everyone's a little bigger and faster and stronger, but just the mindset day in and day out of how people look at coming to practice and playing football and what they're trying to get out of this has really elevated my mindset and my like, inspiration to play harder. I'd probably say that's the biggest jump.
And to piggyback off that, the follow up on that, you had over 1,000 yards receiving a year ago. Um, in practice against, Chandler Rivers, almost like the iron sharpens iron type of mentality. How's those matchups been, and where do you think you flourish more with your skill sets under Manny Diaz and Darian Mensah in this offense?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with iron sharpens iron. Him and the other side with K-Rob are two of the best corners that I've really gone against. So yeah, that was also a big portion of the jump up in level is just going against better competition. But I wouldn't say it's been too shocking. I think that you play, you can play, and for me leveling up with under Coach Diaz and Coach Brewer, I think that really having Darian back there in the pocket, and how electric he is he's a real dual threat quarterback where he's not gonna just stand in the pocket and throw the ball, but he's also not just gonna take off every play where really anything can happen. So that really makes every play that we have exciting, even if I'm running a hitch.
Thanks, Cooper. Good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
Ranjan, we'll go to you.
Hey Cooper, nice to meet you. Could you talk a little bit about your decision to come to Duke? I assume, coming from Harvard, academics was a big part of it as well, but what was that transfer portal process like and your interactions with the coaches, and why'd you finally decide to choose Duke?
Yeah, in my mind, there was really two prongs. One is the football aspect obviously with the two leading receivers leaving from last year. There's a big opening in the receiver room, so it was a pretty good situation for me coming in. Also with the addition of Darian, one of the top quarterbacks in the portal, that there weren't more better options to come in and play and also have a good scheme around you than Duke. And also I have a pretty high value, or I really value high academics. So coming in and being able to get a master's, and I want to do some sort of business or finance when I graduate, or whenever football is done. So being able to be in the Fuqua Business School was pretty big for me.
And then Adam, we'll finish it off with you.
Hey Cooper, coming out of modern day high school, you had opportunities to go to a lot of like traditional college football programs, but there was an article in the New York Times where you were quoted and saying, just wait, I have my plan. I think that plan was to spend 4 years at Harvard, maybe transfer to a powerful school, and then do your thing in the NFL. How has that plan changed or progressed, if it has at all? And and are you still getting doubters from people that are asking why you went to Harvard instead of somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't know if I call them doubters, but people are definitely curious on why I went there, especially some of my teammates here. But yeah, I'd actually say that my plans progressed by a year. I kind of went at the time when I was in high school, I was just planning on graduating Harvard, like you said, in 4 years, and then grad transferring and playing at a bigger football school. But when I got there freshman year, I realized that I could take summer classes and extra classes every semester and graduate in three. So I graduated a year early. So I have 2 years of eligibility. So I kind of accelerated that plan so that if in case I needed or I wanted, I can play another year of college football and then pursue my dreams, the NFL.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks.